Soar Without Limits Enterprises presents the Triple E Podcast, a show dedicated to empowering women to elevate, expand, and explore their mindsets. I am your host, Monique Pearson, best-selling author, mindset coach, international speaker, and travelologist. Are you ready to transform your life? Join us monthly for inspiring stories and actionable tips so that you can soar without limits. Well, good evening, everyone. For those who are not familiar with me, my name is Monique Pearson, and I am your host for the Triple E Podcast, where we help you to elevate, expand, and explore your mindset. And every month, I always come with it with my marvelous special guest that I have on the platform, and this time is no exception. Let me go ahead and introduce you or reacquaint you to Cynthia Mobley Howell. So Cynthia is the founder and CEO of How Well Are You and is known as the lifestyle transformer, as a minister, an international speaker, a best-selling author, a mental health advocate, and a plant-based enthusiast. She focuses on synchronizing the spirit, soul, and body for optimal health. As a dedicated proponent of the plant-based philosophy, Cynthia inspires others to embrace a plant-based way of life through holistic health, education, and personal transformation. She is particularly committed to helping women conquer chronic diseases and achieve weight loss. Equally devoted to raising mental health awareness, Cynthia is passionate about supporting those affected by mental illness. Drawing from personal experiences growing up in a household impacted by severe mental health issues, impacted by mental health issues, she empowers others to recognize those mental health illnesses, to seek help, and to combat stigma. Her riveting memoir, Crazy Didn't Get Me, Preparation for My Destiny, which was released in 2023, she is sharing her powerful story of navigating life with three siblings affected by severe mental illness. You can connect with Cynthia at cynthiamobleyhowell.com, and we'll be sure to put her link in the notes for you all to get in touch with her. But without further ado, let me bring to the stage Miss Cynthia. Hey, Cynthia.
Hello, Monique.
How
Thank
are
you.
you?
I am
How are you?
absolutely fantastic. I'm fantastic. How are you?
Wonderful. I am so glad to have you here on the Triple E podcast because I already know that you are going to bless the listeners just from reading your bio. I just know that we are in for a powerful, meaningful, impactful conversation. And I'm just so thankful for your yes and that you're here with us today.
And thank you so much for the invitation. I am just so delighted. I'm honored and I'm humbled. And every time I hear you say, the first time we were on a platform together, that triple E is powerful. Three is my number anyway, because I always say one for the Father, one for the Son, and one for the Holy
For the
Spirit.
Holy
But
Ghost,
when
I
you
know
talk
that's right.
about, yes, and when you talk about elevating, expanding, and exploring rather the mindset, you have my attention. That is powerful.
Yes, that's why I was like, I also have to give credit where credit is due with my mentor who helped me to come up with that. And that is what we are heading into going forward, is helping people to elevate in all areas of their life, not just physically, mentally, but spiritually as well as financially. So we try to bring people from all of those respective lanes onto the platform. So you definitely, I'm sure, are going to be elevating, expanding, and exploring those who have the pleasure to listen to you today. So, with that being said, what inspired you to pursue your current career or passion that you're doing right now?
Thank you so much for asking that question. So, again, for the listeners, as Monique read in my bio, I have two passions. One is mental health advocacy, and the other is I'm a plant based enthusiast. And the reason that I became a mental health advocate, which is one of my passions, is that I was raised in a household with three siblings, brothers, my only siblings, and they were all impacted by severe mental health issues. Their
Mm,
stories, unfortunately, did not turn out too well,
mhm.
thus putting me on the pathway to advocacy, as you heard in my bio,
Right.
eradicating my mission. One of my missions in within the advocacy is to stamp out, to eradicate the stigma surrounding mental illness. Because had this been something that was brought to the forefront when my
Mhm.
brothers were dealing with what they were dealing with, again, their stories would have turned out a lot different. And then my other passion, which is my most recent passion, and say when I say most recent, that is within the past 6 years, is I have become a plant-based enthusiast with the desire to lose weight. I didn't really have any health issues, but I just didn't like the girl that was looking back at me when I
So,
looked in the mirror. So
right.
I went plant based in 2019. And then in 2022, I became a raw vegan. So I'm where I want to be in my health. I'll be 65 years old, God willing, in about a
Girl, we
month.
can't tell. We cannot tell. Yes, you better work,
Is
Cynthia.
good. God is good. He is good. Thank you. Yeah. So don't take any medications. I don't take any vitamins. I don't take any minerals. I get all of my nutrients from my food. So, and
Mm.
again, what prompted that passion was my personal weight loss journey. And I'm there. I'm where I want to be.
Wow, we have a lot to unpack, so I got to break this down piece by piece, based off of what you just shared with us. So we know now that, far as those who are struggling with mental health issues, that it is now a little bit more, way more accepted than it was in the past about far as being open and seeking help and support. Um, Yourself, far as being a family member who is one not far as impacted by whether a relative who has mental health, how would you suggest they maneuver in that lane, like someone who is new to that, whether it be a sibling or whether it be a parent who is newly or recently diagnosed with a mental health issue? What type of advice would you give to them?
Thanks for asking that question. I have an acronym that I would like to give myself credit for, but I have to give the glory to God.
Mm-hmm.
But He gave me this acronym a few years ago, and it's IDA, IDA. IDA stands for, the I in IDA stands for identify. The D
Mm,
stands for don't deny, and the A stands for act promptly. So to answer your question about what I would, the advice that I would give to a family member who may be dealing with this is, the identify is, whenever you see JoJo or Mary
mm-hmm.
Lou acting out of character, we all got our days. We know our
Right.
people. We all do what we do. But when you see someone extremely out of character, that
Mm-hmm.
is when you are going to identify that there is an issue here. Well, you say, what are some of the signs? If they are sleeping too much or not sleeping enough, if they are eating way too much or not eating enough, if they're out of character, if they become less social, and the list goes on and on,
Mm-hmm.
then you know something is going on. So you're identifying that there is an issue. Then after you identify that there's an issue, do not deny. The D in IDA is don't deny what you're seeing. As for
Mm,
my family, ask me, as Judge Million would say, where did that get you? How did that work out for you? Because
right.
we don't like to, let me dial back for just a second. You said something that was very important. Um, I would say COVID helped this a lot because a lot of the celebrities came out of the closet, if you will, about mental illness. So then,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of celebrities were coming out, the general public was saying, okay, well, it's okay not to be okay. So yes, it is a lot more accepted now. The conversation
Right.
has become better now. So I wanted to say that. So don't deny what you're seeing when you see what you're seeing. You
Mm.
see what you see. Do not turn a deaf ear. My family paid the supreme price for denying what we saw because I was raised in a Christian environment where you just pray everything away. And so,
Right.
guess what? You don't just pray everything away. God had a lot of ways to handle situations. So one
Mm.
of them, one of his disciples, Luke, was a physician. Hey, so anyway, we ain't gonna get into that. And then that A is you want to act. You want to act promptly. You want to act promptly to get that individual the professional treatment that they need because they deserve to live an ordinary, productive, and fulfilling life. So if you suspect that a loved one is dealing
Mm-hmm.
with a mental health issue, once you identify that, do not deny what you're seeing and act promptly to get them the help that they deserve. It'll work out a whole lot better for you, I guarantee you, than it worked out for my family pretending that we didn't see what we saw.
That's a good acronym and also makes it easy for people to remember. So that's good, Cynthia, that you share that. And I definitely know we can go on and on far as with that topic, but I just wanted to share that because there may be some people who may not know what to do. So it can definitely be a starting point for them. Do you know some resources that far as taking action that they possibly can tap into as well?
Absolutely. One of a great resource is NAMI. That is the National Alliance for Mental Illness. It is a grassroots organization. As a matter of fact, it is the largest grassroots organization in the U.S. that addresses mental illness. There and you can just go to their website. Just type in
Mm-hmm.
NAMI NAMI.com.org. I believe it's .org, and
Okay.
it has anything that you need to know about mental illness. It breaks it down. It's not anything above your head.
Mm-hmm.
They give you resources to reach out to if you're in a certain type of situation. As a matter of fact, they featured um, an article that I wrote about my brothers. I forget the name of it. Something about early intervention. How about early intervention? They featured my article in 2021. So NAMI, NAMI, is a great resource. And then for someone who may be in a crisis situation, now this is very important. This is
Mm-hmm.
very, very important. Whatever you do not dial 911. And I don't know why. And I know this like the back of my hand. There's another 3-digit number. Oh my God, this is so crazy. Um, Maybe I'll circle back around to it. But it's not 911 because 911
Really?
is
Because
usually
we always are trained if there's a medical emergency, like that would be your first thing that you would think of.
right. It's not 911. And the reason why it's not 911 is because law enforcement is going to respond. Law
Mm-hmm.
enforcement is not trained.
That's
988.
correct.
Thank you,
Yes.
Lord. You want to dial 988. This was instituted in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, July of 2021.
Oh, wow.
Um 988. 911 is going to be law enforcement. How many times have you heard stories where law
Mm-hmm.
enforcement showed up for someone who was having a mental health crisis and they ended up dead?
Or even those not with mental health crisis, but who are of color in this era in being killed in their homes. So that's powerful. I didn't know that. And I'm sure many listeners may
988.
not. Thank you. 988, y'all. So we can continue to get them the help they need without adding an extra threat of them not knowing how to handle this. Thank you for sharing that with us,
Exactly.
Cynthia, and Holy Spirit bringing
Exactly.
that back to her remembrance because we can
Yes.
also be saving some lives. They cannot help that they're in a crisis at that time. So that is a blessing to be able to get
Yes.
that out there.
And let me
That's
just say, 988, you're going to get a mental health professional that's going to
mm-hmm.
respond. Now they will notify your law enforcement, but your law enforcement will not be your first responder. And
Wonder.
even if you're in a crisis now, if you're suicidal, if you're just not good, if you will dial 988, you will get a mental health professional that will assist you in getting through your crisis. And from the feedback that I've received, it
Mm-hmm.
works. It works.
That's good information. That's good right there. So we're going to shift a little bit to your other passion. So I know that is also big right now, as far as plant based. But far as, can you share a little bit of backstory to how that came to be for you, far as entering to the plant based lifestyle and then upping it up a notch, far as becoming a raw vegan, and what benefits have you seen in your life as a result of that decision?
Yes. Another great question. When I was about 55, I started struggling with my weight. I had lost weight at some point. I was a runner, so I was running,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a vegetarian, meaning that I was still eating animal products, but I was only eating poultry and fish. So I didn't eat a lot of other meats, but I did eat poultry and fish and all of the other animal products and byproducts as far as butter and eggs and cheese and all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, I was doing real good. My weight was, I was at a pretty decent weight. Then all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, because it doesn't happen all of a sudden. Uh, Let me just say, I started gaining weight. One of the reasons why I started gaining weight was I got married. That's not why I started gaining weight, but I did
The
get
happy
married.
weight, as they call it.
Okay, exactly. I fell off the bandwagon, but I got back on the bandwagon. But then I fell off the bandwagon again because my husband, who at the time, he was my husband at the time, he was determined that I had to like eat 3 square meals a day. I don't eat three. I eat like when I'm hungry, and if I'm not hungry, I don't eat. Fast forward, he was coming home at midnight, bringing
Mm-hmm.
chicken wings and saying, "You gotta eat." I'm like, "But I'm not hungry." He's like, "But you gotta eat." I don't know if he was trying to sabotage me on purpose or what. Anyhow, Monique, I would sit in the bed at
Mm.
midnight eating chicken wings and then turn over
Rolling
and go
back
to
over and
sleep.
going to sleep. Yes, we already know
Baby,
where that led you.
I was going like this, like an accordion. So when I noticed things were out of control, and I always tell people this is I get a chuckle of this myself. I got so heavy, so bottom heavy, and ain't nothing wrong with being bottom heavy. Don't get me wrong, baby. I ain't mad at the junk in the trunk, because that's what's up. The brothers like the junk in the trunk. But my trunk was a little bit too loaded. My ex would have to boost me up when I would get ready to get up off the sofa. My butt was so heavy, I could not even get up off the sofa. He would have to give me a boost to help me get up off the
Oh
sofa.
Lord,
Yeah,
no, not the
yeah.
forklift to get up off the
Forklift,
couch.
baby. Yeah. And when that started happening, I'm like, nah, no. So anyway, fast forward, started taking the pills, drinking the teas, the slim
Mm,
fast. I was exercising. I was doing all of the things, and the
right.
weight was not going anywhere.
Mm,
Like, okay. So that was like 2015. I was just blowing up. 2017, I went through a transition where I went through a separation from my marriage. I moved from Pittsburgh. Go Steelers! Okay. I moved from Girl, I gotta get them.
you said I got to
Them
shout
the
out
boy.
my team, honey.
Gotta shout them out. So I moved from Pittsburgh back to my hometown of Panama City, Florida. I'm from Panama City, Florida originally, and I had moved to Pittsburgh in 1996. Lived there for about 22 years before I moved back home. I get back home. So I got a size 14. That's not a bad size at all. Do not get me wrong, but it is not the size that I want it to be. I just did not feel good about myself. Okay, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking about anybody else. If you're a size
Right.
14, I don't care if you're 18. If you good with that, Baby, it is on. I'm happy for you. I ain't got nothing but love for you. I'm talking about me. So I just want to make that real clear. I just did not
Mm-hmm.
feel good. I felt heavy. I just did not feel good about myself. Anyway, so now I'm back in Panama City. I'm running 5 days a week, 3 to 4 miles a day. Now I'm a pescatarian. I'm only eating
Mm-hmm.
fish and vegetables and fruits, blah, blah, blah. I go on and I'm skipping ahead because the story is long, and the weight is not moving. My church does the Lenten fast. If someone's listening, you don't know what a Lenten fast is. It is where you fast for 40 days coming up to Easter. The choice of fast depends on who's calling the fast. Well, the choice of fast here was you only eat fruit and vegetables. Well, obviously, I'm already only eating fruits and vegetables. The only other thing I'm eating is fish. So I said,
Right.
okay, let's take the fish out of my diet. Took the fish out of my diet for 40 days, only ate fruit and vegetables, was running 5 days a week, 3 to 4 miles a day. At the end of 40 days, I had not lost a pound. I
Oh
always
my
say God
God.
probably punished me because my the object of Lenten, fasting for Lenten, is spiritual, and
Right. Not about. But I
I
ain't
was
gonna
trying to
lie,
lose
we
weight.
do be expecting to lose some weight when we
We
do these
do,
fasts.
which it
Mm-hmm.
should be a byproduct. So, but I had it
Right.
backwards. The byproduct is that you get closer to God, and in the meantime you lose weight. Well,
Right.
that was not my goal. My goal was to lose weight as I got closer to God. Okay. Anyway, I'm just listen, I'm just saying what I'm saying. Did not lose an
Right.
inch. I was like, what in the heck is going on? I know they say the older you get, your metabolism, like, but I ain't going out like that. Fast forward, I end up having to relocate yet again because I
Mm-hmm.
was displaced due to a hurricane that came through Panama City, Hurricane Michael. So I was displaced again. So I had to relocate again. Fast forward, I relocate, I find a new doctor. This is 2019. I go to my
Right.
new doctor. I weigh in at right at about 200 pounds. And I'm like, yeah. The church I was going to at the time, so now it's January. They're doing a Daniel fast. A Daniel fast is a 21-day fast where you only eat fruit and vegetables. I'm
And
like,
vegetables.
here we go again. Let me jump on board. But
Right.
before I started that fast, I had a revelation. I said, and it's a lot more to the story, but I know we don't have time. I decided to not only eat fruit and vegetables only, remove the fish because I was eating salmon, tuna, steaks. That was my
Mm-hmm.
fish.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to take all animal products, byproducts out of my diet. Cheese, butter, eggs, milk. Walking 2 to 2.5 miles a day briskly, removing all animal products, including what I told you and byproducts from my diet within 7 days. I started losing weight, and the rest is history.
That still sounds like a lot of sacrifice, but I definitely sure as far as what health benefits have you seen, or what have you seen as far as improvements when you made that shift and that change as to how you ate?
The health benefits and the improvement. Number one, the biggest improvement is I've lost 70 pounds. That is 70,
Woo! And how
not
long have you been
17.
able to keep it off, Cynthia? 70 pounds. How long has it been since you maintained that loss?
So the real loss occurred when I upped it a notch and became a raw vegan about 2.5 years ago. That's when the weight really started coming off. So as of 2.5 years, I have maintained a 70-pound weight loss. I'm raw now. Hey, hey, ain't no stopping me now. I ain't even trying to turn back.
Yes,
Okay,
congratulations,
yeah,
Cynthia. That
thank
is a
you.
major achievement. And for someone who wants to learn more about, because I know we're getting a little short on time, and I definitely want to ask you get into a couple more things. How can they get in contact with you? Like, Cynthia, I want to hear more. I want to learn more, just far as to get more information on to see if that may be a lifestyle change for me. How do they get in contact
Absolutely.
with
Thank you. You can get in contact with me. You can go to my website, howwellareyou.com.
you?
HOWELLAREUYOU.com. Howwellareyou.com. And
Okay, so we
you
will
can
make
reach me
sure
there.
I put those in the notes so that those who want to hear more and get more information and meet with Cynthia to see if that's possibly a lifestyle change for you, we'll make sure that you'll be able to get in touch with her. So, Cynthia, what practices are you currently using right now to maintain or enhance your mental health?
Absolutely. And before I answer that, just let me say a couple of more benefits were my immune system is
Mm-hmm.
whack. When I say whack, that's in a good way. I was in the home with my cousin, not even realize that she had COVID, and I never got COVID, and I do not have a vaccine.
Oh,
Yeah,
never?
so
You
that
have never had it? Oh, wow. Now that's a
no,
major
yeah,
achievement in this day and age.
yeah,
I done had it 2 times, and I'm sure
yeah.
most people I know have had it at least once. So,
Exactly.
wow.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
a
So
great
I
benefit.
was exposed to it for 3 or 4 days, not even realizing
Mm-hmm.
that I was exposed to it directly and did not get it. So my immune system is great. My mental clarity is through the roof. My confidence is at another level, and I could go on and on. Skin is glowing and all of that. But to answer your question about my mental, what do I do? I think you said, what was the question again?
Mm-hmm.
How do I maintain my
What practices do you use to help maintain and enhance your mental health?
Absolutely. So the practices that I maintain is my first one is prayer. I
Mm-hmm.
believe in prayer. And when I say prayer, I know y'all getting a picture in your mind about somebody down on their knee. I don't pray on my knees. I pray in the bed most of the time. Don't
You still
judge me.
talking to God, so that's what
Talking to
counts.
God. So prayer.
Yes.
Or yeah, or I walk the floor or whatever. Prayer. I journal. Oh my goodness,
Mm.
when stuff comes, and I just went through a very traumatic life exchange experience. Just
So, how did journaling help you through that? What are some of the benefits for those who may be leery of journaling that you have found?
it helps you get it out. When you write
Mm-hmm.
it out, it for me, it's very it's just it's healing. It's very it's a release. I'm just able to, and when I journal, I say all kinds of stuff. I'll let you leave that to your imagination. I say what I be saying. I say what I
Mm-hmm.
feel. And sometimes it might be a 4-letter word in there, but that's between me and my God. So I say what I can't say to you, what I couldn't say to a therapist, what I couldn't say to anybody else. I write it, and when I write it, Monique, and I sit
Mm.
back, I'm good. So that is definitely, those are two of my huge. And the other thing is, whenever I'm experiencing a mental challenge, a mental health challenge, if you will, I
Mm-hmm.
sit with my feelings. I am not in denial, baby. It is what it is. We be all up in denial like stuff ain't happening. No, it's happening. Sit with it. Feel the thing. Feel every bit of it. Feel every bit of it. And then once you feel it, you can keep moving. But as long as you pretend, well, I don't want to let myself feel like this. I don't want to cry. I don't want to do this. Well, you know what? You go right ahead and you do that. And again, as Judge Million would say, see where that gets you.
Being a person who used to do that, it got you nowhere, because I think God is going to continue to give you those same tests until you pass it. And as you continuously run from what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, it's not going anywhere. You're just going to keep circling back. So that is so, 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 so true. That is very, very true. Mm, 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 mm. So if someone came to you, Cynthia, and is like, Cynthia, what can I do to elevate my personal or my professional life? what would you share with them that has worked for you?
I would tell that person, if they want to know how to elevate their personal or their professional life, first of all, be who you are. Be yourself. Know who you are and be okay with who you are. Because in life, there are going to be opportunities that are going to present themselves
Mm-hmm.
in a personal manner, whether that's a partner, whether as far as intimately, or a business partner. And we're talking about professional, so I'll just say that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are yourself, to me, because you asking me the question, Cynthia, that is an elevation within itself. When you know how to walk in who you are. When Monique
Mm-hmm.
is walking in who she is, that's an elevation right there. That is an
Facts.
elevation. So I would tell a person, be who you are. There's a saying out here, be who you are, because everybody else is taken. My
It's taken.
saying from years ago is, be who you, I am who I am, because I don't know nobody else to be. So that's the first thing that I would tell people. I would tell people, for professional and or personal elevation, always
Mm-hmm.
be open. Keep your options open. There was a time when someone may, and this is on a professional level, someone may present a business opportunity to me. It's say,
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say direct sales. I'll just use that as an example. And I know I don't like direct sales. I ain't direct selling for nobody. But back in the day, before I would even hear, I would just say, nah, that's not for me. Keep your options open, because you don't know. And then the third thing that I would say to a person to elevate your personal and or professional life is, always be willing to meet new people and engage in new relationships, and don't count anybody out, because you don't know. Billy Joe Bob might be the one that's going to push you over into where you need to be. So just allow people to get just close enough to you, not too close. Let them get close enough to you so you can sniff them out. And if they ain't smelling right, let them keep on going. But they might be smelling right, and they might be just the person you need in your life to take you where you need to be. So those are the three things that I would say.
That's some good points, because we definitely in this team, no new friends culture, and then stay in your lane. But you never know who God is going to use to get you to where He needs you to go. So thank you for sharing that, Cynthia. So as we're wrapping up, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
This answer may not be deep enough for some of y'all, but she asked me the question, right? All right.
So we
So
want
here's
you to
my
give
answer.
Cynthia's perspective.
The legacy that I want to leave is that when someone mentions my name, when I am
Mm-hmm.
no longer on this earth, it will bring a smile to people's faces. Because I know people, can I just be honest? Well, I ain't got to
Yes, of
ask y'all
course.
that.
That's what you're supposed to be.
I know some people, when I hear their names and they've passed on, and y'all don't judge me, because I don't know why we feel like we supposed to be nice because somebody died. You weren't nice to them when they were living, but then when they died, you want to say, God bless their soul, God rest their soul, God bless the dead. No, I feel just like I felt if you was mean when you were living and you died. I ain't gonna be nice all of a sudden because you died. I'm not gonna be nice about you. So there are people that when I hear they died, I'm like,
Like,
well,
next. Mm.
right. Don't I want when I leave this earth, that when my name is mentioned, that
Mm-hmm.
people, first of all, will smile and they will say she was encouraging, she was inspirational, she was motivational. She said what she said. It might not have hit right when I heard it, but when I let it digest and get down in my belly and do the work that it needed to do, I was all right. So I want to leave a legacy of joy, that she was full of joy, that she was full of vim, that she was full of vigor. I know y'all want to hear about the money part, but you know what? Money means absolutely nothing if you're a miserable old soul. So I want to leave
Mm.
a legacy of love, that when my name is mentioned, people will say she loved God and she loved people.
Well, I think the legacy has already began from the experience we have had with you today, Cynthia. Just letting your personality and being your true, authentic self shine through. And I know that there were several smiles shared. So you have blessed us. I just want to say thank you for coming again. And that's going to wrap us up for the Triple E podcast. Make sure you subscribe and join us. Don't be a visitor. Make sure that you're going to join and become a part of the Triple E family. And tune in next month as we continue to help you elevate, expand, and explore your mindset. See you next episode.